before you come in with your analysis of matters bordering on parties, foot soldiers' reaction on some of the appointments that have been made. So if you look at the Daily Statesman today, page 2, it says that some thugs associated with the National Democratic Congress besieged the offices of the Ghana Revenue Authority yesterday, causing chaos and intimidating employees of the State Revenue Agency. The group threatened to shut down the operations of GRA as part of a protest against the appointment of Anthony Kwesi Sapon, who is the acting Commissioner General. The rowdy group issued a statement before storming the premises, describing the presidential appointment as disappointing and demanding its immediate reversal. According to them, Mr. Sapon's affiliation with the opposition New Patriotic Party disqualifies him from serving under the NDC administration. Now, the protesters allege that Mr. Sapon's previous appointment to the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, ICAG, in 2020 by the then President, Akufo-Addo, was sufficient evidence of his political alignment. Now, they vowed to physically block Mr. Sapon from assuming office. We will not allow him to step foot in his office. This is a clear betrayal of NDC loyalists who have sacrificed for the party, one member declared during the chaos. This incident adds to the growing list of violent actions carried out by the NDC affiliated groups since the party reclaimed power in the December 2024 general elections. The immediate aftermath of the electoral victory was marked by widespread violence, with thugs attacking state institutions, locking up public offices, and forcibly evicting civil servants perceived to be aligned with the opposition. So, and it's not just this. There's also Reverend Engineer Fianco, who has been with the NCA for more than 10 years, serving in various capacities. He's also come under some serious scrutiny by party supporters and loyalists who feel and say that he's not cut out to be there because he's pretended, of course, with Joe Anoche at the time, who was the NCA boss, the closure of X-Wider Broadcasting Limited and Radio Gold. So it's just 2-1. So we can just broadly put the two in context. What exactly is the issue?
Yeah, these concerns were raised. I recall having quite a number of calls in relation to this matter.
Right.
And I'm sure you agree with me with my strong presence on social media. It makes me so accessible to many of our comrades. I agree that they have genuine concerns when they feel that, for instance, in the case of Mr. Fianco, they have physical evidence of what he did under the erstwhile Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime, where he superintended over the direct closure of Radio Gold and other known NDC-affiliated media houses. And so I think that their concerns are genuine. They may need to be responded to by the appropriate authority as to what informed the decision. I am not aware yet if he has he been issued an appointment letter?
I don't have
I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, I haven't
so maybe they have only had some rumor and feel that they need to stamp their authority immediately to nip it in the bud so they avoid any last-minute surprises. And I think also, in addition to that, was it one gentleman called Kenzo? I think VRA also.
Kenzo, yes, VRA.
Yeah, I don't know of his. I also heard that they said he's lobbying to be made the CEO. So one of our comrades posted him on Facebook. Then your national organizer and some other party people came there to write, that's Kenzo, our man, and all that. And that alone raised another eyebrow. Yes, Nana B. And co. So there are screenshots of that as well, for which reason people are protesting any attempt to.
You mean there's a post by Nana B?
Yeah, there was a post by somebody.
Okay.
And then Nana B and I think something Herihese also.
Okay.
They all came to, that's my man Kenzo and all that.
Sort of endorsing.
Sort of like, we know
a
him.
subtle endorsement of his affiliation with the NDC.
There was even a picture, he was with a certain gentleman I'm told was Nana B's aide.
Okay.
And so I do not know the two people. But I saw Nana B's post comment there, and the second person. I'll fetch it for you. So yes, I think the grassroots have a genuine concern. Knowing in particular, I must be sincere, Kofi. You agree with me that after when President Kufuor took over office, that was when this whole takeover thing began, and it has not augured well for our democracy. I recall when President Akufo-Addo took over office as well too. It was the same. And I recall vividly, I was driving past his Nima residence and had my NDC paraphernalia in the car, and I was a bit, not malhandled, but I came under some severe or some pressure, but I just maintained my cool and drove through. And that is it. It's never been the best of approaches to doing things. And so when you set certain bad precedents, it becomes an albatross on your neck, and nip it in the bud is not an easy task, but we have to do it slowly. And so you agree again that the moment we won elections, our grassroots also felt immediately that this was time for revenge, tit for tat, and all that. And I have an old saying that, look, if an eye for an eye will make the world go blind, you who is poking mine first should know that I can also poke yours. Then we must all be ready to use the white cane. So I must say on authority here that the concerns of the grassroots, our comrades, are very justified when they feel that certain characters who are trying to suddenly switch and get close to power are known NPP functionaries, etc. It is why I believe strongly that where we have gotten to in our democracy, maybe we should have an independent state institution that would keep records of membership of political parties. So that when you register with the NDC and I register with the NPP, or you vice versa, you register with the NPP and I register with the NDC, that record should be kept by an independent institution to be verified, so that you cannot be holding an NPP membership card, and when power switches, only for us to realize that you hold an NDC card as well, quickly discard the NPP card and want to now associate. This is very common, even in the business fraternity, etc. Some decide to stay away, some hold cards of the two political parties, which I know by law is a crime. Because you cannot belong to two political parties at the same time. So they have genuine concerns. With regards to Mr. Sapon, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, I do not know him as well too. I saw screenshots of his appointment to the board.
Yeah.
I cannot also authenticate whether he was the presidential appointee or government representative there, or in what capacity he served on that board. So I cannot tell. But this calls for an awakening for our authorities to look into these matters and be sure, because you cannot take for granted the strength of the grassroots. Mind you, I have consistently said everywhere that there's no army that is bigger and stronger than the people. And so if you go to this world's toughest country, the army forms not even up to 2% of their population. And so no matter how tough and strong they are, if the entire population of 98% decide to descend on them, there's absolutely nothing they can do. So we may even have power now, but the grassroots can never be taken for granted, should never, and I believe will never be taken for granted. So I am convinced that in the subsequent days, hours, minutes, and so on, this matter will be looked in carefully to just make sure that we don't put people who will become enemies of state. Mind you further, this is not in any way to discredit anybody, but when people are competent and capable and are fair in the discharge of their duties, I believe that they can be allowed to contribute to nation building. Because mind you, I am so sure that there are certain characters within certain institutions. People may even know where they belong politically, but nobody cared at all whichever positions they are, because they believe that even though he is NPP, he makes sure he is principled and does things in the interest of state. Even though he is NDC, he does things in the interest of state. And if that be it, but when you are biased and visibly display that, then it becomes reason for worry. Like the video of Mr. Fiancol that was saying he is supervising. It may be that his role requires that he be the one to do so. And so there's definitely going to be some aggression, pain, and anger within our people that this was the man who supervised this activity. Or are we trying to make sure we use him also to do the same? Then this doesn't engage in vendetta. I would only make sure that the right things are done. And so in that regard, I would also call on the comrades out there that they should restrain a little patience and tolerance. Their grievance and concern has been made known very loudly. It has found its way in the media space everywhere, print, online, wherever, and we are discussing it here as well. Everybody in authority by now has seen the concerns they are raising. It raises a red flag that you cannot even continue to look at certain characters that we know belong to the other side. People must be rewarded for their contribution towards this victory. And I do not think they are asking for too much. It is just a call in the right direction. And this must be adhered to or looked into to ensure there is peace and sanity, which must prevail at all times in governance.
Well, there was a suggestion you made earlier. I didn't quite get it at the time. This is a particular story I was reading. You were talking about the fact that we must have some kind of a data on persons who are occupying public offices.
No,
have a certain
membership
affiliation.
of political parties.
Right. So they must have like So who should take? Who should take?
I don't know. It's just a thought. Who knows? It could be a subject matter for future discussions.
Right.
Where let's assume that Kofi is with the NPP, I am with the NDC, somebody is with the CPP.
Okay.
Now, someone with the CPP may also be having NPP card and NDC card at the same time.
Okay.
And someone who is not even known politically is just a business person, but is holding NPP membership card and holding NDC card. So as and when whichever one comes to power, he flashes out to say, oh, I'm a member. This is my contribution to this. And over here to, oh, once you win, I'm a member.
Okay.
But mind you, you cannot belong to two political parties. You must belong to only one.
Right.
And so if there are these things happening, then there must be probably a statutory body set up to verify that data of membership for political parties.
Okay.
So that tomorrow, when Party A wins power, the person from Party B doesn't come and flash his card and say, oh, I belong to Party A. Then when it's about a month to the next election, when Party A is getting out of power, he moves to Party B and says, oh, I'm a member, I've been contributing, this is my card. And so these are certain, I don't know if it will be classified as criminal under law, which must be looked at moving forward in terms of our advancement as a democracy, especially because of Africa.
So some kind of a party affiliation reference bureau.
Thank you.
Where you can go and
I think I need to sit down with you and we'll start drafting something.
You know, and validate and confirm people's affiliations and so on. And so that when you come to me and you say you belong here, it should be possible for me to just click.
Just click and know.
I check, oh yes.
Then I check and I realize, your name is here, your name is there.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
You know?
I get it. I mean, it used to be so with people who, with debtors, you know, where they go take money from here and then, you know, they go
so
there
some
and you
bureau
ask them,
kind of.
yeah, you don't have any evidence that the person actually went to take money from another financial institution. So you give, and then by the time you realize he owes like 10 companies, you know, but now the credit reference bureau will check that.
Makes it,
you know, and there's a whole data. And so now say, you don't owe, you check, hey, Maza, you owe, and then they'll deal with you. But
because for you, Kofi is making moves to move in.
let me just quickly read the story and I can bring Kofi, because you see, these things are prevalent in both parties, where people will kick against a certain nomination or a certain appointment because they say the person either has worked against the party or the person is a known supporter of the opposition, you know, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you wonder what kinds of background check are done before some of these appointments, you know, or the quality of the background checks that are done, the consultations that happen even before the appointment happened. But if you look at the Herald newspaper today, for instance, it says that disagreement has erupted between the presidency and members of the NDC over the appointment of a suitable candidate for the position of a new Director General for the National Communications Authority. Now, the presidency recently named Edmond Urenchi Fianco, a seasoned technocrat at the NCA, as the new Director General. However, NDC supporters are rallying behind George Ataboateng, a party stalwart credited for a significant role in the NDC's 2024 election victory, where he served as deputy to Dr. Odred Omaneboawa, the then Director of Elections and IT, who is on his way to become a defense minister. Now, supporters of Ataboateng have expressed anger, threatening demonstration over the appointment of Fianco. They associate Fianco with controversial actions, including leading the closure of Radio Gold and Radio XYZ in May 2019, during the New Patriotic Party administration. They accused Fianco of leading a team of NC officials and police officers to Radio Gold to shut the station down on the orders of President Akufo-Addo, the Minister of Communication Eslausu Ekufu, and Joe Anochi, the then Director General. Now, these closures of the stations leading to the loss of jobs, illness, and death, justified on grounds of expired licenses, remained a sore point for NDC supporters as the stations were seen as pro-NDC platforms. Now, Ataboateng, who previously served as CEO of the National Information Technology Agency, that's NITA, was reportedly assured the NCA position following the NDC's electoral victory. His supporters argue that his party loyalty and experience make him a more suitable candidate for the role. Now, Edmond Urenchi Fianco is a reverend, though. The man is a reverend of the